Coming up, the first of two meetings this season between the New York Knicks and the Golden State Warriors. They will get together in Oakland at the end of March. There is Patrick Ewing in his city. He will be sitting it out, as we mentioned earlier. We're set for the introduction of the Hertz starting lineups. Let's pick up with the public address.
Latrell Sprewell. At forward at 6'7" from St. John's, number 17, Chris Mullen. At forward at 6'9" from Iowa State, number 52, Victor Alexander. At center at 6'7" from Kansas State, number 55, Ed Neely. The trainer is Tom Abdinor. Assistant coaches Greg Popovich, Don Nelson, and Paul Pressey. And the head coach, Don Nelson. Injured and not playing tonight is Alton Lister. And Tyrone Hill is ill. He will not play for Golden State as well. And now, please welcome your New York Knicks. At guard at 6'5" from Oklahoma State, number 3, John Stark. At guard at 6'2" from UNLV, number 50, Greg Anthony. At forward at 6'6" from Kansas State, number 20, Rolando Blackman. At forward at 6'9" from Virginia Union, number 34, co-captain Charles Oakley. And at center at 6'10" from Pittsburgh, number 54, Charles Smith. Trainer is Mike Saunders, assistant trainer Tim Moss, assistant coaches Dick Harder and Jeff Van Gundy, and the head coach for the Knicks, Pat Riley. Patrick Ewing will not play tonight due to injury. Tonight's officials are Jack Madden, Bernie Fryer.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. The only beer with a taste as genuine as the people who drink it. Nothing beats a Bud. By Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Centers. For everything in home electronics, music, and movies, nobody beats the Wiz. By the team of Canon Technology and MCS Service. One is a great reason to buy the other. And by Citibank. The city never sleeps.
Well, the last time that Patrick Ewing missed a game, he had played in 175 straight before tonight. That includes the playoffs. The last time he missed, February 2nd, 1991. And he was sidelined because of the flu. Was here at the Garden against the Sacramento Kings. The Knicks won the game 92-78. Eddie Lee Wilkins was the starter at center. So the Knicks with a shuffled lineup. They have Rolando Blackman at a forward position. He is matched with Chris Mullen and Charles Smith opening at center. Off the turnover, Mullen for Sprewell. Latrell Sprewell, rookie from Alabama. This is Ed Neely who is starting at center. Alexander, played by Oakley. And the Warriors lead by the score of 2-0.
This is Ed Neely's fourth start this season, so a lot of surprises out here from both lineups.
Here's Anthony. And the game is tied at 2. The Knicks coming off the victory over the Bullets on Tuesday night. At one point, they led by as many as 16. Bullets got back into it, but the Knicks did the job down the stretch. Here's Sprewell called for the charge on John Starks. John Starks, one-time member of the Golden State Warriors, played in 36 games with Golden State. That was back in 88, 89.
Oh, would they love to have him now, as with the Cleveland Cavaliers also. It was John's last stop before joining the Knicks.
Smith is stripped. The Warriors with 3 straight losses, 5 of the last 6 Tuesday night. They lost in Cleveland 100-90. That's Neely with a 3-pointer.
That's rather surprising or shocking. Ed Neely making his 7th 3-point shot of the year, so he has demonstrated he's capable of doing it.
7 of 21 from downtown. Starks changed his mind, fed back to Smith. Warriors lead 5-4.
Interesting dilemma now for Charles Smith. Should he shine as a low post player back to the basket center, as he just indicated? It might clearly demonstrate to Pat Riley that that's where he belongs. So he could be cursed in many ways if he has a very good night.
Anthony coming over the top off the fake, and he's called for the foul.
Well, that head fake certainly got Greg Anthony flying. Fortunately, he bounced up.
Opening minutes from the Garden, and the Warriors with the ball lead the Knicks 5-4. Mullen leading Alexander. Rejected by Smith. Charles Smith, from his days as a member of the LA Clippers, has seen these Golden State Warriors on a number of occasions. So Charles coming up with that block.
Nice move by Charles, coming across the lane to help out his teammate.
Here's Hardaway. Bad shot. Starks on the run, going right at Mullen. Anthony with the steal. Here's Starks to the reverse. Alexander with the rebound. Sprewell was tricked by Anthony. Latrell Sprewell, first-round draft pick. He is playing in the backcourt, teaming up with Tim Hardaway. At Alabama, he was a small forward. He was actually drafted for his defensive skills.
Yes, he was an all-defensive player. He came into the league, as some players do, not very often, but it happens, and they show they're much better offensive players than indicated. Although when Chris Mullen, who hit that jump shot, came into the NBA, it was because of that precise demonstration that he just showed.
Sprewell averaging 13 points per game. Oh, nicely done. Oakley combining with Starks to give the Knicks a 1-point lead. Golden State Warriors have been dreadful on the road. This is their 26th road game. That's the most in the league. They've lost 7 straight away from home. They've lost 10 of the last 12 on the road.
Which is why it's really incumbent, Marv, upon the Knicks to get them early and take their heart out, because that's what they've been missing lately, heart. They've had their confidence shaken with good reason. Billy Owens is out now again. They've just had so much instability in their lineup, and they have a lot of reasons to lose now. And if the Knicks play with them evenly throughout the first 3 quarters of this game, as they've been prone to do lately, it could spell trouble as the game wears on.
Billy Owens, second-year man from Syracuse, sidelined by knee problems. They hope they'll be back in 3 weeks. That's what Don Nelson said before the game. Nice tip. Sprewell getting inside, and Golden State leads by 1. Smith getting down court in a hurry. Off the double team, he draws the foul. The other injuries, Keith Jennings out with a torn cartilage, right knee. Alton Lister sitting it out with a sprained ankle. We mentioned Tyrone Hill. Alexander called for the foul. Hill, the usual starter at forward, is back at the hotel suffering with the flu.
Well, earlier, Charles Oakley saw John Starks on the loose around the basket. His defensive man had the back to the passer, Oakley. Charles recognized that to a perfect pass.
It's the Knicks 10 and the Warriors 9.
Tyrone Hill will be missed as the leading rebounder for this team, and he's been coming on over 9 a game. He's in the top 25 in the NBA in that department.
Jack Madden with the call. Foul on Starks at the hole. Jack Madden, Bernie Fryer, Mike Costabile are the officials. For the Warriors, this their 3rd stop on a 5-game, 8-day trip. They move on to face the Bullets in Landover tomorrow night, Sunday afternoon, they play the Celtics in Boston. Hardaway gives it back. Neely. That was 2-point range. He hit a 3 right at the start. So Ed Neely, the starting center, man who has made the rounds in the NBA, has 5 points, and Golden State leads by 1.
Oakley indicating he wants the ball. No one's recognizing him, though, as he cut moments ago.
Neely with the rebound. Very quiet crowd here at the start. It is a sellout. Mullen.
Blackman is matched up on Mullen defensively and is doing a nice job with Chris so far.
Here's Oakley. And Hardaway out of the pack. Tim Hardaway going all the way. Golden State 13, the Knicks 10.
Hardaway gives a little lip to the official after making that shot, feeling he was cheated of a foul call that he should have gotten, according to him.
Halfway through this first quarter, Blackman. Yes. Rolando Blackman, who has not been able to find the stroke because of the back problem. Sat out the last 2 games with back spasms. Been in and out of the lineup. He's played hurt. Mullen going high off glass to get the Warriors a 15-12 lead.
In front of him, so he just kept going to the hoop.
Hardaway averaging just under 22 points per game. Charles Smith fouled by Victor Alexander. 6 minutes remaining in this first quarter. The Warriors lead by 3. On the subject of the All-Star team, that's the starting line. By 3. On the subject of the All-Star team, that's the starting lineup for the Eastern Conference. And a look at the West. Barkley, Malone, Robinson up front, Stockton, and Drexler at the guards.
Tim Hardaway reportedly is very unhappy that he didn't get the call from the public over John Stockton. He felt he should be there.
Make an argument or in terms of Hardaway with a crossover, then missed the reverse. Anthony hit the deck. Hopefully helps him up. And an ice break does get it over the timeline.
See how the fans reacted, though, to Charles's act of kindness. They picked up on that.
Sprewell off the steal. And the Warriors give it back. Clyde Drexler has certainly had an up-and-down season because of the injury. That's where I could see Hardaway having an argument. Here's Doc Rivers for Greg Anthony. But it never sits well when a player complains. If that's true, John, you have been inaccurate in bringing these things to our attention in the past. Now, was it Hardaway complaining? Was one of the writers from the Bay Area? And you know for a fact that Tim was complaining. As Smith was able to pound it home, and the game is tied at 15.
Actually, I spoke to your brother, Steve Allen.
Now you're talking to, you mean a
the
guy who
voice
does
of the Golden State Warriors.
This is who you are quoting? Alexander giving the Warriors a 2-point lead. Well, you're dealing with a lot of credibility there.
I know, that's why I reported it.
And he said that Hardaway was unhappy. Steve is the same person who told me that Tyrone Hill is who's out with the flu, as we mentioned. Blackman getting inside. Steve said there was a good movie on Spectrovision back at the hotel that Tyrone hadn't seen. That's the reason he hung back.
I think Tyrone would appreciate you saving those lines for David Letterman, Marv.
Game tied at 17. Alexander provides a 2-point lead for Golden State. So Alexander has hit 3 out of 4. He has 6.
Meanwhile, Charles Oakley has thrown some beautiful passes here in the opening minutes. The last one to Rolando Blackman was right on.
Smith. And Charles Smith leading the Knicks with 9 points. He's tied the game at 19.
Well, Charles had complaints after Pat Riley suggested he may move him out of the lineup, or he was dealing with the dilemma of Charles Smith 2 games ago, and Charles felt that he just doesn't get enough time and enough shots. Well, it's all going to change this evening with Patrick Ewing out.
Hardaway with his second field goal. And the Warriors lead 21-19. 3.5 remaining in this first quarter. Smith squaring up. And back comes Hardaway. He is the master of the crossover. This time he fed Alexander, who's called for a travel, and took a shot above the eye. Victor Alexander, second-year player from Iowa State, first-round draft pick last year. Charles Oakley departing. Anthony Mason checks in. Oakley leaves with 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And the crowd appreciating the effort. Blackman on a quick release. Back comes Hardaway. He has Mullen setting up in the right-hand corner, but the pass was off the mark. Hardaway in traffic, trying to get it to Mullen, who was ready to go
back soon. The last 6 games against Golden State over the last 3 seasons shows Patrick Ewing making Don Nelson a happy man tonight. 31 a game, 16 rebounds, 55% from the field. Golden State's problems over the last 3 years, they don't have an adequate center, and Patrick Ewing's had big outings against them.
Patrick hoping to return to action against Miami tomorrow night in Miami. First of the home-and-home set. Here's Mason. The Knicks and the Warriors tied at 21 with 2:40 to go in this first quarter. Tony Campbell, who has played well recently, has come on for the first time. Sprewell posting up on Starks. Sprewell spinning in, and he's fouled. Rivers came over to help out.
I believe Rivers, Marv. He's so convincingly persuasive in his response that we'll take another look at it now. He'll lean in to help Starks out now. Oh, all ball. Foul called on him. Poor Doc.
Boy, he sold you a bill of goods.
He did. Can always sell.
Sprewell, a 73% free throw shooter. Latrell Sprewell played the final 2 years at Alabama, transferring from Three Rivers Junior College in Missouri. Starks getting down in a hurry to set up Smith. Yes. 11 points for Charles Smith. The Knicks 23, the Warriors 22.
11 of 23. Charles off to a nice start here.
Alexander now posting Mason. Alexander goes 6'9". Mason with the back tap to Starks.
See what happens when a player is happy, how Smith ran across the court to bother the shooter. He came a long distance.
Starks not able to hit. Campbell strip. 3-on-2 for Golden State. Sprewell's return picked off by Smith. Hardaway with the steal. He gives it right back. Tim Hardaway has made a number of poor decisions in this first quarter. That's not a happy man there, Don Nelson. He was staring at Hardaway. Smith. Mullen with the rebound.
Charles is taking to rushing the shots now and taking every shot opportunity.
Hardaway not able to hit the 3. Mullen had it knocked away. Good play by Rivers. It carried off the leg of Mullen.
What you do like about Charles Smith, though, now, what Pat Riley must like, though, is his energy level. He's working very hard and much involved at both ends of the court.
8 turnovers committed by the Warriors. 6 by the Knicks. That is a high number in this first quarter as we come up on a minute remaining. Nice move, power move by Alexander, taking advantage of the mismatch. Golden State by 1. Smith backing Alexander. Rivers. Well, Doc going glass to give the Knicks a 1-point lead. Hardaway, air ball, and here's it from the crowd.
Got to make Don Nelson feel like a good coach. You know, when you see a player come down and who's a guard, a leader of the backcourt, come over half court and fire up an air ball, it's like Is there anybody in control here?
Hardaway called for the foul, and Sarunas Marciulionis comes on for the first time. Chris Mullin will sit down. Chris leaves with 2 field goals, 2 out of 4 from the field. It's been a difficult season for Sarunas Marciulionis. Missed the first 24 games with a fractured right leg, dislocated right ankle, injured while running in a wooded area in his native Lithuania.
Marv, there's a hot rumor. There has been for a while that this man, Marciulionis, would be traded. Part of a trade, actually a 3-way trade, rumored involving Dallas and the Clippers. Danny Manning and Dallas, of course, first pick Jimmy Jackson. But the one I heard tonight before the game, which sounds pretty hot, is Marciulionis and Chris Gatling going to the Clippers for Danny Manning. And that's from a pretty good source. And it sounds like it might happen after tonight's game.
Marciulionis and Chris Gatling, who is a second-year player, 6'10", 220 out of Old Dominion, not played tonight. Sprewell with the acceleration was fouled by Mason. We're down to 4 seconds remaining in this first quarter.
Oh, what a tough move by Sprewell, faking left, going right, and then wiggling in while protecting the ball and drawing the foul. Well, there's some logic to it. It's known throughout America that Danny Manning's unhappy with his home with the LA Clippers. And it's known, too, that the Golden State Warriors have got to start making changes. And the man we mentioned a moment ago, Chris Gatling, checking in now. This is a team that is not going in the right direction right now, and they just want to make some changes. Of course, they'd love to have a Manning, as any team most likely would.
Final seconds. Knicks. The Warriors score 120 points. A local pizza company distributes pizza for everyone on hand. Well, back on the 7th of January in a game against Miami, Golden State had 119 points. And check this out. Final seconds, Tim Hardaway.
It was ruled no good as far as the scoreboard was concerned after the clock had expired, but the honorable pizza company people honored the shot and paid off.
Yes, even though the Warriors fell short of 120, they beat Miami 119 to 105. They did distribute free pizza to the entire crowd. Awfully excitable announcer for the Golden State Warriors. It's a little carried away. And we will, as we do from time to time, sampling broadcasters around the NBA. John Starks gives the Knicks a 29-25 lead. We will pick up the play-by-play call of Steve Albert and former NBA player Jim Barnett. The television voices of the Golden State Warriors. Gatling not able to hit. That'll be later on. There's Mason posting Neely. And Neely with the rebound. Marciulionis. And it's another Golden State turnover. Substitution for the Warriors. Byron Houston, rookie from Oklahoma State, has checked in. 6'5", 250 pounds. A very solid first-round draft pick. Originally picked on the first round by Chicago, and then dealt to the Warriors. A reach-in foul is called on Starks.
Well, Starks does what the Knicks are trying to do a better job of, and that is get in front of the fast-moving Tim Hardaway. So doing, however, the foul was called.
Hardaway and Sprewell in the backcourt. Marciulionis with the step on Campbell and able to convert. Marciulionis, Gatling, and Houston up front. Here's Campbell. Yes. Tony Campbell giving the Knicks a 31-27 lead. Herb Williams operating now at center. He's up front with Mason and Campbell. Rivers and Starks in the backcourt. Rolando Blackman is getting set to make his return. Marcellonis providing problems for Campbell.
He's tough physically. He has all kinds of spinning moves inside the foul line.
Campbell, well, these two guys are in a personal duel. Campbell hitting the outside shot. Marcellonis going to the drive. The Knicks 33, the Warriors 29. They isolate Marcellonis, who goes to his left and is fouled. Rivers coming over trying to help. Campbell picks it up. That is his first. Now Blackman is back. Coming on for Starks. John Starks leads with 6 points. Marcellonis with the head fake. Houston. Byron Houston banging one in off glass. The Knicks lead by 2. Blackman played by Sprewell. Gatling called for the foul. A push on Williams.
Gatling is listed at 6'10", but Marv, when you look at that team out there that Golden State has, boy, do they look small. Gatling's a small 6'10". He's not a strong-looking guy, and the rest is 6'5" and under, it seems.
Don Nelson usually going with the hybrid-looking club. You get the idea that everyone's about between 6'4" and 6'6". He's had great success with it over the years. Rivers attempting from three-point range.
And the idea here is let Herb Williams get his hands on the ball. Nobody should be able to bother him out there.
Hardaway tried for the 3. And Rivers involved with Gatling. Jack Madden makes the call from across the court. And it's a loose ball foul on Rivers.
Doc Rivers in pursuit of that ball. I think the foul was called in the early part of that replay. Doc Rivers is arguing the falling down part, which was really, I don't believe, the foul call. It was a little push, I think, he gave Gatling before that.
Gatling fouled by Mason. Anthony Mason did not like the call, and that will send Gatling to the line. He's only a 64% free throw shooter.
Well, we are in a streak of every Knicks player complaining clearly on every foul call, and that will draw attention very soon from the officials.
The Knicks lead 33-32. Chris Gatling came on strong late last season, then saw limited action in the playoffs. He's the Warriors' only legitimate shot blocker. That is not a strong part of their game. Gatling had a good one 2 games back against Milwaukee, but he's been quiet most of the season. Knicks and Golden State tied at 33, and Mason's pass off the mark. Golden State back to the offense.
Marv, as long as you bring up that subject of shot blocking, would you believe who the leading shot blocker is as Gatling scores underneath for the Golden State Warriors? I mean, talk about a tough one to answer or guess correctly. Chris Mullin leading this team in shot blocks. 40 for the season.
Blackman swinging away. And he's tied the game at 35. The Warriors continue to try to beat the Knicks down court on the transition, but the Knicks have been able to get back. Marcellonis changed his mind, was going to set up for the jump shot. Last touch by Williams. And it will be Warrior ball with 10 on the 24.
Well, you see Herb Williams, a 7-footer, bounce off Marcellonis as they pursued that ball. Marcellonis has some sturdy body.
Last touch by Rivers, down to 5 on the 24. Shot clock running down. Houston fired it up, and it will be Knick ball.
I would think Pat Riley would like to see Herb Williams kind of take over. Herb has demonstrated many times this season that he's highly capable. And against this team and against this opponent, Chris Gatling, Herb Williams should rule underneath.
Blackman working off the pick. The Knicks 37 and the Warriors 35. Rolando Blackman making it back after missing 2 games because of the back problem. He's come out hitting 4 out of 5. He has 8 points. Marciulionis lost it and then recovered. Goes to the spin. Throws an air ball. Blackman for 3. Yes.
How lovely. You had to have quick eyes to see what Doc Rivers did to get that ball to Blackman.
Watch Rivers get rid of that ball. Blackman looking at Hardaway, no problem. Blackman's 6'6", Hardaway's a 6-footer. He had a clear view of the hoop.
So Rolando has made his return in explosive fashion. He's at 5 out of 6, including the 3-pointer, and has 11. Chris Mullen back on the floor. Knicks now lead by 5 with 6:40 remaining first half, and a foul called on Mason. No, they say Rivers. All right, so that's 3 on Rivers. Greg Anthony will come on.
Rivers is gambling in a high-powered way. He's challenging Hardaway and everybody in the backcourt, playing aggressive basketball. These are not bad fouls. These are good, hard, aggressive fouls, and he's making it difficult for Golden State, whose power really is on the outside, to get much done. This time Rivers took it well. No complaints, no faces.
Byron Houston hitting on both free throws. Pressure by the Warriors. Knicks with the ball. They now lead 40-37. Anthony and Blackman at the guards. Mason, Williams, and Campbell up front. Anthony putting the spin move on and lost it. Sprewell knocked it away. And here comes Sprewell. Pulls up for the jumper. Knicks by 1. Williams back to help. Look out, Marciulionis took a shot in the face, but he's all right. Got a piece of it, knocked it away, so it will be Knick ball. And Sarunas complaining that he should have gotten a foul call on Campbell. Blackman came off the pick. Mason. Shot clock at 7.
Well, the Knicks are just not getting anything out of Herb Williams.
Mason with the rebound. Yes, and it counts.
Well, Mason gets the ball down low for one of his rare shots here in the moments he's been out there. Williams, rather, and then Mason goes in and follows it up beautifully.
Foul committed by Chris Gatling. Anthony Mason looking for his 5th point. The Knicks 42 and the Warriors 39. This enormously disappointing season. The Golden State coming off last year's record of 55 and 27, their best in 16 years. Sprewell with the spin move. Last season, they were the fastest and flashiest team in the Western Conference. Very exciting ball club, although they were knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. Mason, and the rebound handled by Houston.
Well, not enough can be said about the absence of Billy Owens. Last year played in 80 games. Not only scored 14 a game, but he had a host of rebounds and brought his multi-skills to this team.
Shot clock at 3. Sprewell. That was a 3-point attempt.
Owens has played in only 18 games of the 45 that Golden State has played this year.
Last season, Golden State led the NBA in scoring by a wide margin, averaging 118 points per game. That was last touched by the Warriors. Here's Hardaway returning. Latrell Sprewell departs with 6 points. They also shot 51% last season. That was better than any team except Chicago. This season, they're right around 49%. Blackman with the step, and Mullen was able to knock it away. Hardaway with a pull-up.
And despite their problems, they're doing a nice job here in the first half, as is Rolando Blackman.
Rolando 6 for 7. High man for the Knicks with 13. The Knicks are shooting 56% in this first half. They now lead 44-39. Hardaway. Called for a travel. Tim Hardaway has made a number of poor decisions in this first half. He has really had a poor half. He's 2 of 8, 4 points, 3 turnovers.
There are feelings, Mark, too, that this has been a common occurrence with Hardaway with his judgment. How about Chris Mullen with another block? We're talking about him. He leads this team in shot blocks. I think that's amazing.
Marciulionis, air ball by a pretty good margin.
I don't think that was because of good defense either, with all due respect. I mean, he just plainly misjudged. What a happy man. Don Nelson. Mullen on that block of Rolando Blackman's shot attempt.
A very rough season for a man considered to be one of the best coaches in the league, Don Nelson, who is gunning for his 200th regular season victory as head coach of Golden State. Last year, Coach of the Year for the 3rd time in his career. Chris Mullen has 6 points. The Knicks lead 44-41. 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Starks. And Houston has played well. It's coming on early second quarter. Able to cover that rebound. Marciulionis this time on target. And it brings the Warriors within 1.
Coach Mark, Don Nelson's expression that we just saw might have something to do with the fact that he's appearing tonight in his 569th game, including his playing years with the Celtics as well as coaching. No one has had more involvement in NBA basketball than Don Nelson. 31 years of NBA life.
It's a 3-point attempt. Alexander with the rebound. Last touch by the Knicks. Timeout taken by the Warriors.
For Golden State, and Patrick Ewing is out after 175 straight games. Nevertheless, the Knicks still holding an advantage right now with our Dutch boy in the paint analysis. Knicks are 4 points ahead of Golden State inside.
For those who may have tuned in late, Ewing sitting out because of soreness in his right knee. Hyperextended the knee late in the game against the Bullets on Tuesday. Another Golden State turnover. The Knicks lead by 1 with just under 2 minutes remaining in this first half. Marv Albert, John Andres, Al Troutwood, Walt Clyde Frazier from the Garden. John Starks giving the Knicks a 46-43 lead. Mullen with the fake. Oh, what a shot by Chris Mullen. The Knicks by 1. Here's Starks. Looks like Mullen got a piece of it. Byron Houston. And Alexander gets it back. Houston passing up the shot.
Yes, he didn't want to take the next shot.
Alexander kept it alive, knocked out of bounds by the Knicks.
Houston was originally drafted by the Chicago Bulls this past draft. First round pick, 27th chosen overall.
Here's Alexander. Knicks have a 3-on-1 led by Starks. Sets up Anthony. The Knicks 48, Golden State 45. Marciulionis with that deceptive change of pace and then was able to flip it home. 1 point, Knick lead. Marciulionis with 8 points. Oakley, intense it for Mason. Would you tell this big fellow who keeps walking in front of us to our left to sit down?
I'm going to get into a tussle with Michael Dynamite Dokes for you, Mark.
I mean, the guy is walking the sidelines, and no one's saying anything to him about it.
I know.
Alexander, so the Knicks lead 50-47.
Will Michael be walking Saturday night?
Check the Warriors lead by 1, 49-48. This Michael Dokes facing Riddick Bowe on Saturday here at the Garden. Shot clock down to 2, and it will be Golden State ball. Final seconds of the half. Here's Hardaway. Oh, what a shot. Hardaway extends to a 3-point Warrior lead, and that is the end of the first half. So Golden State coming from behind, taking a 3-point lead, and there is Michael Dokes. Wait a moment, is that his preparation for Saturday night's fight, John? What is going on here?
I don't know, Marv, but Michael's been a regular fan here the last couple of games, and I'm sure he's getting ready.
Yeah, he's getting ready for a quick departure. We'll be back in a moment.
There are plenty of light beers out there.
I'm still light, right?
But if you're looking for one that's not like all those other lights, if you're looking for one that's imported and tastes that way,
I'm still light? Right.
if you're looking for one that has a full, rich taste, one that has everything you love about beer,
I'm still light, right?
if that's what you're looking for in a light beer, then the choice comes down to one.
Bartender? Right.
Without Patrick Ewing, who's missing tonight's game with a sore knee, the Knicks trail the Golden State Warriors 51-48 at the half. In a ceremony that just concluded a few moments ago, Jack Moynihan, Executive Vice President for MetLife, made a presentation to John Starks.
On behalf of MetLife, I am delighted to present the MetLife Nick of the Month Award to John Starks. Congratulations, John. In addition, MetLife will present a check in the amount of $1,000 in John Starks' name to his favorite charity, the Boys Brotherhood Republic. John, congratulations.
13 January games, averaging 19.5 points a game and almost 5 assists a game. John Starks joins Patrick Ewing, who won the award in November and December. And now we'll see how ginseng affects the announcing of Marv Albert and John Andres in the second half. Guys?
Well, Al, unlike yourself, we stayed away from it. Good shooting. First half, Warriors 50%, Knicks 51%. Warriors on fire in the latter stage of that first half. Golden State with the edge off the boards, led by Byron Houston.
Very bad numbers as far as the Knicks are concerned. Their assists, of course, are good. 18 is a very big number. Our Midas bench breakdown. Warriors getting tremendous help from Sharunas Marciulionis, 8 points. Or depending on the mood, you never know what the mood of a coach is. You know how kind of day he had. But I could see Pat Riley throwing things around the locker room at halftime if he was in that kind of mood. His team was out-rebounded by this grossly undermanned team. The Knicks supposedly have depth. Charles Smith had 2 rebounds in 17 minutes in the first half. And they're losing to a team that's suffering 7 straight road games. They have a lot of work to do in the second half.
And a holding foul is called. It's on Victor Alexander. That's his 3rd. The Knicks tonight are without Patrick Ewing. Ewing coming up with soreness in his right knee, so he is sitting it out. Hopes to be able to return to action tomorrow night against the Heat in Miami. Golden State playing without Tyrone Hill, a starting power forward. He's back in the hotel because of the flu. And Alton Lister, backup center, also out of action. Lister with a sprained right ankle. And the foul on Hardaway, that's his second. So 2 quick calls against Golden State. Third quarter getting underway. And the Warriors lead by 3. Blackman. Randall Blackman had the hot hand in the first half. 6 of 8 from the field. Led the Knicks with 13 points. Victor Alexander, the high man for Golden State. He has 10 on 5 of 8 from the floor. That's Alexander with it, guarded by Oakley. Mullen over Blackman. Rebound Smith. The Knicks opening up this third quarter the way they started the game with Rolando Blackman up front at small forward. John Starks cuts it to a 1-point Golden State lead. Charles Smith, the starter at center for the injured Ewing, up front with Oakley and Blackman. Starks and Anthony in the backcourt. Alexander took advantage of the overplay by Oakley, and he was fouled. Anthony picks up his third, so Victor Alexander will go to the line. Alexander only a 62% free throw shooter. Victor Alexander, first-round draft pick last season. Guy has had weight problems over the years. Don Nelson refused to start him earlier last season until he dropped the excess weight. He did start 28 games at center last year. When he's in shape, he is a very good athlete. Listed at 265, 6'9", 265. Oakley gets inside, but missed on the drive.
Boy, Charles Smith just bounced off 6'9" Victor Alexander.
And Hardaway gets the roll. It counts, plus the foul.
Hardaway exploding to the basket now. And he was played rather well by Greg Anthony, but he still had another move left. Another look from up high. The great offensive players never seem to get shut down. That's what Hardaway presents night in and night out.
That foul number 4 on Anthony. Hardaway not able to complete the three-point play, but Mullen was there to rebound. Doc Rivers has replaced Greg Anthony. Alexander with 10 on the shot clock. Here's Mullen. So it will be New York ball.
You know what's amazing, Marv, is that the Golden State Warriors are leading the Knicks by 4. Here we are in the third quarter, and Chris Mullen only has 8 points. What if he gets hot?
Mullen is 4 for 10 from the field. Has not shot well recently. He is bothered by a torn ligament in his right thumb. He is playing hurt. Hardaway off the long rebound. Hardaway fires. What if Hardaway gets hot?
So what if Golden State starts playing really well? Which they really haven't thus far tonight.
Starks. Any more questions you'd like to throw, Scott?
That's enough for now.
Alexander called for his 4th.
The Knicks have established such a pattern of being a second-half team at home. And they can't seem to shake it, even though Pat Riley would love to see it happen, see them go for 48 minutes at full efficiency level. The effort's there, but the efficiency isn't. But they're playing themselves into a very difficult second half.
Oakley with the 10th. Warriors by 2 with 3 minutes gone by in the third quarter. They double up on Hardaway, nearly picked it off. Hardaway and Sprewell at the guards, and an offensive foul. That's 3 on Hardaway.
Hardaway's not that tall, but he carries a lot of weight and strength, and he can dish it out as he's driving, as subtle as it may appear.
Chris Gatling has replaced Victor Alexander, who had 4 fouls. Smith putting the move on Neely. And Jack Madden will make the call against Golden State. It's on Neely. Call for a push. Ed Neely was a teammate of Rolando Blackman. for 3 years at Kansas State. Jim Gallagher of our crack staff passing that note on. Here's Starks for 3. The Knicks lead by 1, 55-54. In contrast to Blackman, who just committed that. Oh, what a shot. It won't count. Mullen just fired it up. It hit off the top of the backboard and then charmed right through, but it will not count. Blackman, in contrast to Neely, has had a settled NBA career. Here's another look at it. Oh,
out of the picture.
right on it, yes.
Chris was fooling around and had some fun.
No fooling around right there as he is able to hit. Rolando Blackman with a stable career for the most part with Dallas on to the Knicks, but Ed Neely has made a number of stops along the way. Starks again. And the Knicks lead by 1. Mullen with the hesitation move. And hits. Well, Chris Mullen is warming up. He has 12 points. Golden State leads by 1. The game is picked up. It was not a particularly entertaining first half. Sprewell called for the foul. The crowd was very quiet. You have the idea they were ready to burst at any moment, but not much happening, despite the fact both clubs did shoot well.
There wasn't much quality in the first half, and the fans are now seeing, with Mullen at any rate, a couple of nice moves. He's a hometown favorite, despite the fact he wears a visiting uniform. And Chris starting to show some stuff now, and this sellout audience is very anxious for some quality.
John Starks stepping it up here in the third quarter. He now 17. He's the high man for the Knicks, who lead by 1. John Starks, the key to the victory over the Bullets here on Tuesday with a strong effort down the stretch. That's the crossover move by Hardaway, but he takes it out to Sprewell. Rebound Smith. Rivers whipping by Mullen. Finding the open Blackman. Yes. The Knicks 61. The Warriors 58.
Well, Pat Riley has to be delighted to see Rolando back, particularly so the way he's shooting the ball tonight.
15 for Blackman on 7 out of 10. Neely, Oakley with the rebound. Warriors get back. Smith try to dish off to Starks, knocked out of bounds by Golden State. 11-4 run by the Knicks. They lead by 3. Their biggest lead tonight, a margin of 5. Starks. Smith. Well, Charles Smith has come alive off the boards in this third quarter. Had only 2 rebounds in the first half. Mullen. And again it's Smith.
That's a bad miss for Chris Mullen. Fell short left of the rim. That's unusual to see him take a shot, make a shot look like that.
Shot clock to 5. Rivers lost it. Bottled up by Hardaway. Mullen. You know, you get the idea that Chris knows this sport awfully well. Practice here as a member of St. John's. Played so many big games here for the Redmen. Remaining third quarter, Knicks controlling the boards. Here in the third, Latrell Sprewell called for the foul. 3 apiece on Sprewell and Hardaway. Alexander has 4. The Knicks foul situation. Anthony with 4. He's sitting down. John Starks off at the free throw line. Usually a dependable foul shooter. He's 2 out of 5 from the line. Rivers with 3 fouls. No one else in any trouble. Knicks lead 64-60.
John is particularly dependable in closing pressure moments. But we haven't hit that point of the game yet.
Hardaway setting it up. Finds Gatling, and he's really rocked Oakley over, committing the foul.
That's one of those almost flagrant fouls, the way it looked anyway. Gatling, a shot at the basket. Gentle touch of Charles Oakley on the foul.
Charles committing his first. And Gatling to the line. He is only a 64% free throw shooter. Golden State not a good foul shooting team, right around 71%. They are actually worse than the Knicks at the line. Smith tries to feed Starks in a foul call. It's on Sprewell, so 4 on Sprewell. Charles Smith to the line. Charles has come to life off the board. 7 rebounds, 5 of the 7 here in the third quarter. Marciulionis getting set to check in. He had 8 points off the bench in the first half. Knicks lead by 3. Tomorrow night, the Knicks and the Miami Heat in Miami. Game time at 7:30. That's the first of a home and home set. Knicks game night at Knicks game night 7:30, and the game will get underway at 8 o'clock. Knicks beat Miami here at the Garden in mid-December. Pat Riley's 600th career win. Sunday night, Knicks back here at the Garden to go up against Miami. Patrick Ewing will make the trip to Miami and is hoping he can make the return to action. Gatling gets inside. Knicks now lead 66-64.
Nice pass from Hardaway. Yes, Patrick and his teammates will be sleeping in Miami tonight.
Knicks will charter to Miami following tonight's game. Pass was thrown too low for Blackman. He could not come up with it. He was surprised by it. Five minutes remaining in this third quarter. Marv Albert, John Andres, Al Troutwood, Walt Clyde Frazier before a capacity crowd at the Garden. Better than 19,000 on hand. Hardaway off a beautiful lead from Marciulionis.
It's always embarrassing if you're the defender and a man cuts across the middle, gets a layup out of it.
Game is tied at 66. Oakley set the pick to Starks, who fires. Yes. 20 for John Starks. He's had the touch. He's 8 for 14. Knicks lead by 2. And Hardaway has tied it. Once he starts hitting those rainbow jumpers, he is dangerous. And Hardaway and Starks now involved in some conversation. Again, the pick for Starks. That's a 3-point attempt.
The big thing the Knicks are missing now is that Charles Smith is being guarded by 6'5" Byron Houston.
That will not count. It's a charging foul. Offensive foul on Marciulionis.
Marciulionis putting his head down, concentrating on going to the basket, and does, only he runs over his opponent.
Don Nelson appearing mystified by that call. Anthony Mason has come on for Charles Smith. Mason up front now with Oakley and Blackman operating at the small forward position. Rivers for Oakley. Nice pass, and Charles Oakley able to finish it off. The Knicks lead 70-68.
Charles Oakley just raised his arm going back on defense and clobbered Doc Rivers.
Oh, sweet shot there by Chris Mullin, who has 15, and the game is tied at 70. Oakley, rebounded by Gatling of the Warriors. Hardaway with a crossover for the setup, and Gatling able to get to it.
special presentation of If the Ring Could Talk, a look at the history of boxing at Madison Square Garden, hosted by Marv Albert, with special guests boxing authority Gil Clancy, matchmaker Murray Goodman, and Daily News columnist Bill Gallo. See it here on the MSG Network, the best in the game.
And 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and the game is tied at 70. Here's Gatling, and he will go to the line once again. Hammered by Oakley. That's 2 on Oakley. Gatling is 4 for 4 from the line, but only 64% for the season. They called him the Energizer guy. Chris Gatling, second year from Old Dominion.
I wish I knew why, Marv.
I believe it's in his own house now. Refer to him as the Energizer.
Well, if you don't mind the pun, he's energizing his team and becoming a major contributor to the success of the Warriors right now.
I knew you'd make it here.
Well, I mean, they're winning.
Golden State by 2 with 2.5 remaining in this third quarter. Starks with the rebound. Well, John Starks has had a big third quarter. 14 of his 22 have come here in the third. Marciulionis, rebound Mullen, rebound Blackman. Game tied at 72. Rivers with the room, changed his mind, got it to Blackman. Gatling able to get to that rebound. Hardaway with a crossover to whip by Starks, could not complete it, and Starks ahead of the field. Knicks 74, Warriors 72.
Well, you use the word energizer with Chris Gatling. Energizer plus as far as John Starks is concerned. He's providing the ups for the Knicks. Chris Mullen has captured the golden touch that has made him the 4th leading scorer in the NBA this season.
18 for Mullen, who averages 26.5 per game. The Knicks and Warriors tied at 74. Starks had it knocked away. Hardaway for Mullen. And unselfish move by Tim Hardaway to set up Chris Mullen. And Golden State leads 76-74. We're just under 1 minute remaining in this third quarter. Mason. Nice ball movement. Rivers. Yes. Game tied at 76. Hardaway goes to the left hand. Will they count it? Yes, they do. He gets the call on the continuation, and he was fouled. Foul committed by Starks, his third.
Hardaway penetrating beautifully, and the second time now in the second half, he's gone to that left hand off the backboard. He's such a good jump shooter, you got to play up on him, and when you do, he makes you pay.
Tim Hardaway, a rising star, 4th season from Texas, El Paso. He has developed into the emotional leader of the Warriors. Did not have a good first half, but has come on here in the second half. 15 points in all. 9 of his 15 in the third. Hardaway also has 11 assists. Offensive foul. It's called on Rivers. That's his 4th.
Rivers was going underneath the basket to set a pick for his teammate, and Byron Houston got in the way, and Rivers kind of lifted him off the ground as he attempted to set the pick up.
4-piece on Rivers and Anthony. Judd Fussler, who played briefly in the first half, checking in now with Jeff Grayer, who also saw limited action in the first half. Jed Bushler, originally a second-round pick of Seattle, one-time New Jersey net, out of the University of Arizona. Time winding down in this third quarter. Grayer setting it up. Does not like the hand check from Mason.
Well, Mason isn't putting the hand on him. He just got it up on him.
2:35 on the shot clock. That was a two-point attempt by Bushler. Final seconds of the third. Oh, good play by Mullen. Not allowing Starks to break down court. 3 5/10 seconds remaining in the third. Don Nelson doing some shuffling. Here comes Gatling. Houston is back. So it goes to the defensive geared alignment. 3.5 seconds to go in the third. Rivers for 3. Handled by Oakley. Oakley wanted a foul call. Jack Madden says no. 3 quarters complete. It's Golden State 79 and the Knicks 76.
This is getting dangerous now for the Knicks. They usually save their best for last, but the Warriors are playing now at a higher level in many ways than they have throughout much of this game.
So Blackman cuts it to 4. Warriors 89, the Knicks 85. Normally we would hear more of the out-of-town telecast, John, but Switchboard was going wild with complaints. So I think we'll have to adhere to fan reaction.
Oh! Chris Mullen off balance. One-handed. That's a shot I don't believe anyone in the NBA except Chris Mullen will take and make with such regularity.
He now has 22. He scored 12 in the third quarter after a slow start in the first half. Marciulionis called for the foul. Warriors are over the limit.
Another look at this special shot by Chris Mullen. I mean, he's looking at 6'10" Charles Smith and ignoring him.
John Starks to the line. He is 3 for 6 from the line.
Well, Mullen has rung up some very interesting numbers in his career. He's the second all-time leading scorer in Olympic competition behind Michael Jordan, and he and Jordan and Patrick Ewing have played on successive Olympic championship teams. 3 of only 6 people to have ever done so.
Chris Mullen very consistent in the most recent Olympics in Barcelona. Of course, involved in a host of blowouts, but played well. Sprewell can't find the shot. Wild attempt by Grayer. 24-second violation. This has been a close game throughout. Knicks led by as many as 5. Warriors' biggest lead, a margin of 6. Knicks playing without Patrick Ewing, bothered by a sore knee. He's hoping to return tomorrow night in Miami. Here's Smith. Charles Smith starting at center. Rolando Blackman made his return, though, tonight. Missed the last 2 games because of the back spasms, and Rolando has had the hot hand.
Charles Smith has fallen into a trap that Patrick Ewing does somewhat. In a mismatch situation favoring Charles, being guarded by a 6'5" Byron Houston, Charles is taking turning around jump shots. Why not take a big step to the basket, roll into the hoop, draw the foul, create pressure on this much smaller player? 5 inches is a lot. Charles isn't exploiting that advantage he has.
Foul committed by Starks. And Jeff Grayer now 2 out of 3 from the line. Last year, the Knicks and Warriors split their 2 meetings. Knicks winning out in Oakland, Warriors winning here. Golden State has won the last 2 here at Madison Square Garden. Crowd reacts. They felt that Mullen made contact with Blackman. Anthony played by Sprewell. Pass off the mark. Grayer with the steal.
Smith didn't come out to receive it.
Sprewell for 3. Starks with a 2-on-1. Nice feed. And Mason was fouled. Fouled by Houston. 6-point Warrior lead. Mason to the line. We'll step out for a moment. Here's Bob Page.
Marv, fourth quarter at the Meadowlands Arena. Seattle's Eddie Johnson will miss outside, but the Nets let Vincent Askew sneak through, put it home. Seattle up 5. The lead now 3 with about 5 minutes remaining. Back to you.
All right, Bob. Anthony Mason hitting the first. He is now 3 out of 4 from the line. The high point man of the game, John Starks, has 26. He's 10 for 19 from the field. Chris Mullen with 22 on 11 of 20. Warriors lead 93-89 with 5:20 to go in the fourth.
Well, there have been many instances of the Knicks playing without Patrick Ewing for extended periods and playing well. Tonight, they really miss him.
Hardaway. Marciulionis. The Knicks down by 4, just under 5 minutes remaining. Mason comes out, setting the pick. Starks. Rebound Mason.
Riddick Bowe loved that. Big smile on his face. He relates to Anthony Mason, who plays the strength game.
So the watching earlier the fact that Don Nelson is a coach who has been in a constant search for a quality center. Take a look at some of the centers that he has had on his squad. Manute Bol, Uwe Blab, Bilberry Carroll, Dave Feidel, Gatling, Dave Hoppen, Lister, of course, McKeskey, Jim Peterson plays center, Ralph Sampson, Mike Spurett, Chris Washburn, Christian Belp, Jerome Whitehead down through the years as coach of the Milwaukee Bucks and the Golden State Warriors.
But let's not forget, Marv, that Don Nelson said, yes, I want those guys. And he smiled and selected them.
Well, some of them, and some you have to take because you have to fill the gap at that position. Here's Mullen for 3. Rebound Smith. So the Knicks in possession. They are trailing 93-91 with 4:15 remaining in the fourth quarter. Mason, a good look from Greg Anthony. And Anthony Mason with some powerful moves around the hoop has tied the game.
Play like that makes Greg Anthony look good, too. He patiently picked apart the defense.
Reach-in foul on Blackman. Both teams are over the limit. The Knicks with 6 consecutive points. Mason with 10 of his 14 in the fourth, including that jam.
Nice move by Mason, too, moving away from the cluster of bodies, and he just opened himself up as a target.
Well, Chris Mullen, 81% free throw shooting, and that's off for Chris.
88 is his career average now in his 8th year. But last Friday night, boy, he had a 35-point game, but in closing moments of a 1-point loss to the Clippers, Chris missed 2 foul shots in closing seconds. That was a shocker home in Oakland.
A hometown crowd turning on Chris.
Most unusual.
Warriors lead by 1. Smith was stopped. Nice recovery, and he'll go to the line.
I've never seen a big guy who's basically a good shooter have such a difficult time getting his shots to go down. Charles working very hard, wants to dunk this ball, loses control, and gets his hands on it around the basket, but he can't get them to go down. It's just, he has got to be so frustrated with his shooting.
Victor Alexander called for the foul as 5th. Charles Smith, 6 of 8. From the foul line, and his shooting has been off tonight. He's 5 of 13 from the field. 17 for Smith, who started at center in the absence of the injured Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing missing his first game after playing 175 straight. That includes playoff competition. Patrick out with soreness in his right knee. Knicks lead by 1. 3.5 left in the game. Hardaway picked up on the switch by Blackman and is rejected by Smith. game for Smith. Here's Anthony. Oh, what a move, and he's fouled. Greg Anthony penetrating, and he'll go to the line.
Big move by Greg Anthony. What's nice is he did it patiently. Looked around, see if anybody else was in better position. Then he selected his move. This team doesn't have a legitimate center, and they paid on that play by Greg Anthony.
Foul committed by Sprewell, who will head to the bench. That's 5 on Sprewell, and the Knicks with a good run. 10-1. Oh, an air ball, and then some by Anthony.
That's unbelievable. I don't know that I've ever seen a shot missed by so much. That's nervous laughter from Greg.
Ooh. The Knicks 97 and the Warriors 94. Mullen for Marciulionis. Marciulionis keeps it alive and drew the foul. Charles Smith called for the foul. It's been a long time between field goals for the Golden State Warriors. They had gone 4.5 minutes without a field goal. They now trail by 2.
Marciulionis has missed 24 games this season with leg injuries, came back recently. But Marv, the feeling is he's fatigued these days. He's doing so much work on behalf of the Lithuanian Relief Fund aimed at children's relief. And yesterday rather, he did a lot of work up at Mickey Mantle's restaurant, and he's really a spokesperson for this needy situation. But he's wearing many hats now.
Mason drawing the double team. Starks for 3. Rebound Smith. Well, Charles Smith has come on in these final minutes. He's given the Knicks a 3-point lead with 2:15 remaining in the 4th quarter. Mullen with the step. Alexander lost it. Mullen on the recovery. Rebound Alexander, and a foul is called. Well, the Warriors able to keep it alive despite the fact that the Knicks are the better rebounding squad. At least they have a better group on the floor right now. Foul was called on Smith, his second. Victor Alexander, 1 for 2 from the line. He is only a 62% foul shooter. So Alexander misses both. 2 minutes remaining in the game. Knicks with the ball and a 3-point lead. Anthony and Starks in the backcourt. Blackman playing up front with Smith and Mason. Anthony gets it out to Starks from downtown. The tip by Mason, and a loose ball foul is called. And Jack Madden says against Golden State. It's on Gatling. That's his 4th.
Knicks have a new cheerleader tonight at the end of their bench. Patrick Ewing, he of the hyperextended knee, but he's an active cheerleader, watching John Starks on that last 3-point attempt.
Anthony Mason hitting the first of 2. He's 5 for 6 from the foul line. The Knicks lead by 4. Minute 41 remaining. 4th quarter. Knicks 101, Warriors 96. Clutch free throw shooting by Anthony Mason. Biggest lead of the game for the Knicks, 5-point margin. Starks call for his 5th. Both teams have been over the limit for some time. Marciulionis, well, he hit his first 4. Myron Houston back, replacing Chris Gatling. Warriors have gone 5 minutes and 36 seconds without a field goal. They've missed their last 4 free throws. They double up on Anthony. He's able to get it down. A minute and 20 remaining. In this fourth quarter, the Knicks lead by 5.
Knicks have been spreading their offense out now as Golden State's under great pressure.
Mason with the spin and lost it. Here comes Hardaway. Hardaway from Archelaus. The Knicks lead is down to 3 with 1:06 to go. So the Warriors finally convert a field goal. Anthony in trouble. Well, Starks able to get to it. Anthony thought he was fouled.
Still want to spread it out now and make good decisions, not rush a shot. They have the lead. They've only got 5 seconds left.
Here's Starks with that shot clock running down. Rebounded by Smith. Smith tried it. Yes, he did. Was able to bang it off Hardaway. Smith was trapped along the baseline and made the good play. Timeout has been called.
Baby Ruth and Butterfinger bars. Nestle, the official candy bars of the NBA.
Greg Anthony in the closing moments of this game is doing a terrific job for the Knicks, and he drove the middle, scored, took advantage of no shot blocking by Golden State. That gave the Knicks a big lift.
Well, the Warriors went 6 minutes 3 seconds without a field goal. They finally did score. And now trail 101-98, 40 seconds remaining. In this fourth quarter, Knicks have 21 on the 24. John Starks has been firing away from three-point range. 5 of his last 6 shot attempts have been from downtown. This time he got the step and will go to the line. He was shoved. Byron Houston, who was shaken up on that play, called for the foul.
Well, Starks commands respect with his long-distance shooting ability, which he's demonstrated over and over again. But this time he goes baseline, succeeds in drawing the foul. Knicks need more points with the three-point shooting of Chris Mullin and Hardaway about to greet them at the other end of the court. Starks has always shot the ball well, Laura, as we've said, in clutch moments.
6 of 9 from the foul line. Knicks now lead by 4. Latrell Sprewell has checked back in, replacing Victor Alexander. John Starks, once again, the offensive story for the Knicks. He has 28 points. The Knicks lead 103-98. 25 seconds remaining. Three-point attempt by Hardaway. Mason with the rebound. And the Knicks just want to hold the ball. Anthony grabbed by Marciulionis. So Marciulionis giving the foul to stop the clock. 16 seconds remaining. And Greg Anthony will go to the line. Well, if the Knicks hold on and win, I think that Greg will be hearing it from his teammates regarding that last free throw attempt. That was an incredible... Oh, no! He did it again!
Unprecedented, maybe. This is unbelievable.
That really is.
It's the NBA, right?
And then he overcompensated by throwing one too strong. Reminds me of the psych out of Steve Sachs when he was with the Dodgers and had difficulty throwing, making the play from second base, and it was completely psych out, and you have to wonder if he is just psyched out. You see it once, but see it twice, John.
I'm speechless.
Radio commentator in the Washington area, Danny Aiello, showing goodwill.
Paying his respects.
Yes.
This Sunday, the game with the Miami Heat will be at 7:30. Originally listed as a 6 p.m. start. 7:30 this Sunday, the Miami Heat.
All right, Hardaway off the hit fake. We're down to 5 seconds. And it was deflected out by the Knicks. John Starks with another superb effort. 30 points for Starks. Most of the damage in the second half. Another block by Smith, who comes up solid, and the Knicks defeat the Warriors 105-101. And the Knicks make it 6 out of the last 7 and a record of 27 and 15 for the moment. They are 3.5 in front of the Nets, while the Warriors make it 8 straight losses on the road. They have now lost 4 in a row as they drop to 20.
Well, it's most of the good plays down the stretch when the game was in the...
You know, John is he loves the game. I mean, he really loves the game, and he brings it to practice with him. But sometimes he has, you know, a little bit, you know, too much fun with it, and it gets a little bit flip with it, you know. But that's part of the enthusiasm that he brings to the game, and I think sometimes, you know, getting ready for the game, you know, he has to focus and concentrate a little bit more and just really get ready to play. And he's done that extremely well. I see him in there. He's got a mantra now, I think. I don't know what it is, but he's chanting before games. Not really. Don't put that tomorrow. No, but, you know, he's really good.
A couple of chuckles to end the coaches' conference, brought to you by the New York Times. All the news and quotes that are fit to print. More post-game stuff tonight as the Knicks win.